Hi, friends.
Good morning.
Welcome back. How are you? How was your week? Let us know. How are you? How was your week?
Good. How was yours?
It's good. It was a good week. Yeah, I'm trying to think. It was one of those weeks actually that I was hoping after all the work of the remodeling that I would have a nice quiet week. And then I looked at my calendar and I had something like every single day. But kind of thankfully, probably about half of it ended up getting canceled through no fault of my own, through like other people, things happening, stuff shifting. So I ended up having and getting my quiet week, which was a
Mine was
blessing.
quiet. Mine was quiet. Had one productive day. But hey, there was one.
Sometimes that's all you
One's more
need.
than none.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I had to put my glasses back on. I felt an eyelash in my eye. I took them off. That would be why everyone's just a little bit fuzzy. Well, today we thought we would talk about transitioning to spring. So I think, we're facing the end of winter. We're heading into springy weather. So what does that look like? Kind of what are the things we do seasonally to prepare for the upcoming season? But before we dive into that, if you don't know who we are the Ressa Girls, mother-daughter duo who's done all things creative for 20 plus years, which included doing craft shows and markets, flipping furniture, owning an antiques business, all sorts of stuff. But really, our passion lay in um, empowering other women to pursue their creative dreams, to live boldly, to live intentionally, to create homes that are not only welcoming and beautiful and inviting, but they also tell your story. They're not just HGTV perfect.
Yeah.
So I am Katie, the daughter of the mother-daughter duo.
And I am Patty, the mother of the mother-daughter duo.
So there you go. If you enjoy hanging out with us, go ahead and give us a like, follow, subscribe, whatever all the things are. Share us with some friends. Our plan is once we hit 50 subscribers to start doing these live at 9 a.m. Mountain Time on Saturday mornings. So that'll be more fun, be able to hang out and chat with you guys. But until then, here we are.
And we were very excited to welcome 2 new subscribers.
I know. We got 2 new subscribers this last week, which was super exciting. There's drywall next to me. I don't know if you know, somebody must fall, but I tried to lean against the wall like I always do, and it moved. Yeah. Okay. So we're heading into spring. So is there anything that's like your first, like, this is something I do like every spring? There's any like habits you have?
Well, I mean, my first thing is I start pulling out, start tucking away. Obviously, I haven't done that yet because I'm still in flannels this morning. But yeah, my wardrobe is a big switch over. Because I am, especially when I'm somewhere where it's cold, which I've been most of my life. I did get a brief reprieve,
a small reprieve from that.
But I'm a layer girl. I've got like the heavy socks. I've got like the under layers, the long sleeve shirts. I usually have. I'm down to 2. I was at 3 because normally I have under what
like
do you call
thermal,
like a thermal, and then like just a long sleeve,
and then a longer over, and then she goes out. She has her jacket,
and then I bundle up beyond that. So start like I think probably the gloves and all that stuff gets washed and tucked away first. But yeah, I think wardrobe is probably the first for me. Kind of lightening up my wardrobe.
I tried to keep pretty I don't know. I don't feel trendy enough to say capsule, but I do try to keep somewhat of a capsule wardrobe. So I don't have a ton of stuff that's seasonal. So I don't have a huge, because I know there's some women, they have a bin, right? And it's just a big rotation. I have my winter clothes and my spring clothes, and there shall the 2 meet. I have like 1 or 2 things that is really seasonally specific, and even then I kind of blow it off and wear it when I want. But I do have my winter gear. I just tucked up my winter gear up into storage because we don't have a huge house. I don't have a huge closet. So I don't have the luxury of keeping that stuff hanging up year round. So I did do that. Yeah, I think that that's probably the bigger thing is I find myself moving into those warmer colors and tones, the brighter, the a little bit lighter weight, for sure. Um, Another thing I do is I start tucking away my winter decor. So you have your big Christmas decorations, and then later this week I will be packing up the last of like the winter stuff. So like the frosted trees I have in my hutch, and just a few other little things, or my heavier blankets will get put away into the chest, and I bring out my lighter weight one to leave on the couch. So for me, I think I probably have more decor that I rotate than my clothing. But yeah, it's not, I'll also be getting out my Easter because we're coming up fast on Easter decorations and some of my springy ones. So you'll see kind of the winter tuck away, the last of it, and the spring will start coming in. Another thing I do when spring hits is airing out my house. Because once we hit fly season here in Idaho, you never want to open your windows or doors. So in the spring is my opportunity, like late fall and then early spring is my opportunity to like open all the windows up. And I think there's a lot of health behind that, health reasons and air quality and things like that. So that's something I like to try to do is, mid-morning, open the windows up, leave the doors open up for a couple hours just to kind of let that air circulate, get that stale winter air out.
Yeah. And I don't know, I know in years past, it was always, a time for me to, along with that putting away and stuff is kind of starting to clean out, spring cleaning, if you will. I don't know if that's really a thing anymore, but yeah, kind of cleaning out, dusting, because as you start opening your blinds more, you start seeing all the dust and all the things that kind of just get neglected over the winter, at least. Anyway, maybe you're not that way.
Maybe you're a lot tidier than we are, but
sure. So it's a good time to, especially if you have like a checklist of, seasonal things to take care of.
Speaking of being tidier than I am, because I just discovered this, I'm gonna give you guys a little tip. Dust the tops of your doors like once a month.
Oh yeah.
Doing the bathroom remodel, I was up on a ladder and so I was painting the ceiling, and I glanced down and like the top of my door was caked with ugh. And so that was that's true. Yeah. Like it's somewhere that gets dust, so you almost never see, so it's just hanging out there being all dusty.
And your trim too. Your trim above your doors.
Yeah, above your doors needs dusting. Who knew? Who knew?
Well, we know now.
You're welcome. I'm a girl's girl. I also look forward to in the spring moving outdoors. A lot more outside time. This last week was actually spent a chunk of it in my flower bed, so I think that there's something refreshing. I am not a green thumb, but I am not the opposite. I don't kill everything, but I'm way more of a houseplant girl than a garden girl. But as I've gotten older, I've learned to really appreciate, I guess, this old lady hobbies that us mid-30 millennials start picking up: bird watching, gardening. But yeah, getting out my yard and just like watching. Okay. I know people are going to tell me it's really dangerous, so I don't want to hear it. But I got a squirrel feeder and a bird feeder, and I hung them outside my window because I have 2 cats, maybe 3. One took off, and I don't know. We'll see if he comes back. But I have 2 cats for surezies that love to sit in the window and watch them. And we have a lot of squirrels around here. And so I got a squirrel feeder and I put nuts in there. And I have been training them to take the nuts from my hands. And I know. But I'm just saying, it's really fun. If you just like hold it like that and they come and take it and they stare at you and eat their nut, it's super cute. But anyway, yes, squirrel watching.
And yes, as a mother, I had to warn her, be careful you don't get bit.
It's true.
Even though, you're 30-something.
I know my risks. I accept them. I know. But it is kind of fun.
Yeah, the cat. Well,
and living in town, I feel a little different. Like if they were out in the country, I'd want to be like, I don't want to mess with your survival instincts. But you're in the middle of the city. Your survival instincts are totally different than a country squirrel.
Well, it's gotten me out of my morning walks because Romeo is content to come out and
just sit and watch the squirrels.
Hang out in the yard and just stare. He'll be like, this far out, staring.
Thinking maybe I'm a mighty hunter. Yeah, my whiskey's that way too. They're like that. Yesterday there was one running around the yard, and the two of them are on either side of it, and they're like, but of course they're old and chunky, and they both at different points tried to run and like climb the tree, and like can't get off the ground. They'd be like me trying to run and climb a tree. Yeah, but yeah, so getting out in the garden, I think it's there's whether you believe in grounding and the benefits of that, I think there is. I notice a difference in my mental health just being out and in the soil, and I try to go barefoot when I do it just to give myself a little bit of exposure. Because growing up, I was barefoot all the time. Like I remember one time I went out in the snow barefoot, and my dad was like, "Young lady, get back in the house. Get your shoes on." So I love being barefoot growing up, and then as an adult, you get like all sophisticated, and you don't go barefoot everywhere. And I realized, you know what? Like I'm happier when I go barefoot. Like there's something about when you step on soil or grass, and you just, I don't know. I believe in grounding because I feel it. I feel it in my body.
And response. I will say, I've never totally been. Like, I remember as a kid, I couldn't. Like, my feet were so tender. Like, I just couldn't.
Gotta leather them up.
And I'm finding as I get older, for me, it's like I started trying to make it a practice, just to help with, because I was realizing I was getting to be a little toddly, with my balance, and I just think it helps you ground better, get
those muscles.
It works all those muscles a lot more, and I'm finding my balance has like really improved. And I still don't like walking on rock and things like that, but I do have the shoes now that I wear without socks, which is like, that's never been a thing for me either.
Barefoot shoes.
Yeah. Well,
he's still wondering.
I don't want to fall and break a hip.
You don't come back. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, your muscles were designed. Yeah. I mean, your feet, they were designed. God made them to work in a way that helps your balance and it makes you stronger. And so when you wear sneakers, traditional sneakers, it destroys those muscles, and eventually, I mean, it erodes your ability to balance and stuff. So for sure, there's immense value. So I'll get out there barefoot and tootle in the garden, pulling weeds. My daffodils popped up last week, about a week ago, and there's still spots of sunshine. So
fresh air, the sunshine, listening to the birds. All good stuff. By the way, that was your public service announcement from us on the benefits of going barefoot. We really got off on a track there.
Yeah, we did. Well, it was a good one. It was a good one. Yeah, that's right. It's a little PSA. The more you know. Okay, so clothing,
lightening up your home,
working in the garden. Is there any other like rhythms or rituals for you as we enter this new season?
Other than just, spring, I think it always kind of awakens my senses. It's like, it's such a season of new life, of possibilities, like you said, the plants coming up, and, birdies, and all that. And so I think it always kind of reawakens that possibilities and looking forward for me. So
I like that. I think I kind of wanted to share a little bit of maybe what my hopes are, and you can, or you don't have to, but like my hopes and my expectations for this next season. So as I, am face transitioning, we did just have the 6-month anniversary since my dad passed away, and winter was hard, and in a way, I'm grateful for the timing, because I feel like it was a season of just hunkering down and being indoors, and it's like being sheltered, and so I was walking through this storm.
It was natural to kind of cocoon a little bit.
Yeah, just to be cocooned in for winter
against the grain.
Exactly. Yeah. So taking that winter time to just really like withdraw and try to heal. It's still, obviously, I mean, anyone who's had a loss knows, like, it is a long journey and we are nowhere near the end of it. But I mean, it's arguably one without a destination. But I think for me, as we move towards the spring, I'm hopeful. What I'd like to see is just, finding that joy again in everyday living, in my family, and in going on adventures and doing things. I've had just such a desire to disconnect and to hide away from pretty much everyone, including my family. That I'm hopeful with the spring and with the sunshine that'll kind of help give me that push to kind of take that next step forward and keep living. I know that's what my dad would have wanted was us to keep finding joy, reasons to laugh, even if it's at ourselves. And so I think that's kind of my hope heading into this season is not only will it be physically refreshing being outdoors, but that it also be kind of an emotional fresh start, rebirth.
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of echo those sentiments. I kind of already said, I mean, it's always spring has always kind of been that for me. And like you said, the timeline has been, I feel it's been like the correct rhythm. I mean, not that there is, but it's felt like it's been the right rhythm for us, for me. And so yeah, I'm feeling like emotionally I'm in that place of, okay, now I'm starting to look at those steps forward, stepping, taking those next steps of, what life is going to start looking like, because it has been just kind of cocooned in, and haven't had to really face making big changes. And so, yeah.
So what about you guys? What are you thinking? What's your kind of goals for this next season, or hopes, or, what have you been working on? I've definitely got a few projects as well that I'd like to knock out this summer. So you'll probably be seeing videos of that. And maybe I'll get Patty on board here. She hasn't been super crafty lately, but I might get her on board to help me flip a couple dressers I've had sitting around for a couple
years. Long time since we did furniture.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what started.
Out in the driveway flipping furniture.
Yeah. I even have a picture of my oldest as a baby. She had ended up scooching herself over, and I think it was just like a sunny day, and so I just ditched the diaper and was letting her just run free. Anyway, she managed to set her bum into some stain that had been spilled or something, and I look over and I thought, like, oh shoot, she doo-dooed herself, and like, whoops, I gotta clean this up. And I realized, oh my gosh, no, it's like this brown stain. Yeah, lots of good memories of flipping furniture in the driveway with little ones running around, and now they're kind of getting old enough that they can even be a part of it, which will be an interesting journey. I am not good at crafting with kids, which surprises a lot of people who know me, because they think, oh, you're so crafty, like you probably do stuff with your kids all the time. Nope. I never, even when I worked at a daycare before I had kids, and I was like all about the kids, all about playing with kids and being involved with them, there's certain things I couldn't do. One, I can't pretend play. I'm terrible at that. So they'd be like, pretend there's a monster over there. And I'm like, but there's not. There's nothing over there. I can't engage with that. And then crafts, because when you do those pre-done kits, it's like supposed to look a certain way, and I'm breaking when they're doing it the wrong way. And so free craft has always been my jam. Just do whatever you want. It's kind of what my mom did growing up. There's a lot of just you explore, and I think honestly it built my sense of creative confidence. So that's what I do with my kids, but they're finally getting old enough that we can start teaching them some techniques for how to make your paint finish turn out good, how to prep your furniture. So we'll see. I might be doing this the whole time, who knows, but maybe it'll be good. My darling, my second oldest, is actually, she's got markets this spring. She started making jewelry, and she's definitely got that creative entrepreneurial spirit. So I want to continue to foster that in all of my kids, but especially her. Yeah. So next week we're going to be talking about, I looked at it right before we started so I would remember, and now I'm blanking.
We are going to be talking about when we almost quit.
Mm-hmm. This is a story from our shop days, but it has a ton of just, I think, value, whether you own a business, whether you're a creative person, or whether you're just a human,
This
you're
one
going
just
to find
about broke
value.
us.
Yeah.
We had
So
a lot of hard hurdles, but this one just about broke us.
yeah, this one was, for a lot of reasons, was really, really hard. So we're going to share that story and kind of talk to you guys about that next week. So make sure to come back. And I promised last week that I was going to do a video on my bathroom and I forgot. So sorry. But I will do that and I will get it uploaded this week as well. So you'll get a little bonus video at some point, unless I'm a liar and I forget again. But yeah, thanks so much for joining us, guys. I hope you have a beautiful day wherever you are. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, friends.